Aunt Marge? Oh. Draco? How's J.K. Rowling thinking of this? This is my face when Mrs. Weasley says, "Oh, don't worry about Harry, he'll be safe at Hogwarts." Did you see the first 2 years? Or because I don't think anyone's safe at Hogwarts. It's like the most dangerous school ever. Sorry, I'm kind of coming at you looking like a mess with my little face wash hairband thing, but I have been reading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and it has been great. Definitely, you can see that there is the differences between this book and the previous 2 books, where this is already starting to get more creepy, more scary, just in the first like 80 pages. I've really, really enjoyed it. It is already a little bit more grown up than the first 2 books, and Harry Potter is 13 in this book. Ooh, Aunt Marge? Ugh. She was so annoying. Other than that, I've really enjoyed reading this. I've enjoyed the writing. I've enjoyed the progression of this being a little bit different than the other 2. And yeah, right now I'm on Talons and Tea Leaves. I really like this art on this one specifically. I don't know, I think it's really cool. Okay, other than that, I feel like I don't have much to say other than I'm enjoying it and I'm very excited because, I don't know, I like, after the Goblet of Fire, I don't remember anything. And even the Goblet of Fire, I don't remember all of it. Okay, so I just woke up not that long ago. You probably tell. But I am currently reading. I am on page 119, chapter 6. So one of the things that J.K. Rowling had mentioned was writing a magical creature, and I really appreciated her descriptions and how uncomfortable it would be to ride one of those creatures, and that's something that I personally wouldn't have thought of. Oh, Draco? With his freaking being mean to Hagrid. Hagrid is my favorite. I will die for him. How dare they? How dare Draco be a freaking little butthole to Hagrid? And Hagrid's just trying to do his best. Secondly, one of my thoughts was, so Slytherin in general, it's a misconception that everyone in Slytherin is evil. That's just the evil, you know, house. Not true. However, there was not any wizard who had been turned evil who was not in Slytherin. So every evil wizard was previously in Slytherin, but not every wizard or witch or whatever in Slytherin is evil. So my thought is, if the school knows that, wouldn't you think they would start putting in some precautions to try to stop the generational freaking evilness of Slytherin? Or do they just not care? Just a thought. I don't know. Other than that, I feel like there's been a couple things happening. You know, I'm tapping it up as per usual. This has definitely had a faster pace than the other 2, but I haven't been able to read as much. But it's definitely darker already, and having things happen in class that are piling on each other for Harry, and what's going to happen to Harry? Who knows? Except, I know what happens in the movie, for the most part. I remember it. But everything feels very important to the plot, and I do really appreciate when authors make sure that everything that they're writing is important to the plot or important to her character building, and not just like fluff. Not just like, oh, well, I'm just gonna put this in here because I need filler for space to, you know, add tension or something like that. I feel like it's very purposefully written. And yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. I just haven't been able to read very much, and I'm hoping today, Thursday, of April 11th, I'll be able to read more, you know. I'm not gonna say I'd be able to finish this today, but that would be cool, but I gotta do shooting and archery today, so probably can't. Maybe I'll put in some clips so y'all can see what I'm talking about when I talk about shooting and archery, but alright, so I will see y'all in the next clip, whenever that is. So, it is April 12th, Friday, 7:49 a.m. and I asked off of practice today so that I could sit down and relax, and I really want to prioritize my reading today. I am only 40% through the book, but as I'm about to be super busy and YouTube algorithm says you need to post once a week at least, I kind of want to finish this book today. Now, not that I'm going to like rush through the book, because that's not, I've already talked about that on my channel. It's not exactly something that I really want to do. However, if I prioritize my reading and I'm not checking my phone every 5 seconds, and I'm not like watching whatever's on the TV instead, and I'm actually sitting there reading, then I know that as long as I'm prioritizing that, then I can read faster. Not that I'm actually like reading the words on the page faster, but that I'm getting the book through the book faster because I'm prioritizing it. And that's kind of the goal for today, so I will keep y'all updated on that. Otherwise, since I last updated y'all, I don't think much has really happened for me to talk about. Nothing super crazy anyway, so yeah. Side note, there's a really cool map that comes into play in this book. How's J.K. Rowling thinking of this stuff? Like, I know that it's not like the super craziest idea ever, but I just love fantasy authors and how creative they can be, and maybe that's why I love reading fantasy so much, is because you get to read about real life experiences, but through a different sort of lens, in a more fantastical lens, in a more creative lens. So there's still real stuff going on, so your brain is still working in the way of like increasing your empathy, because that's one of the things that reading does, is increase people's empathy, their memory, their reading comprehension, and all those things. In fantasy, you definitely need a lot of reading comprehension because it can be so complex. And maybe that's another thing that I like about fantasy too, is that it can be challenging. Though Harry Potter is not exactly challenging, it's definitely a great place to start for people who are interested in fantasy, because it's already getting more complicated in the third book, but not to the point of being too hard to understand. But the map is just something that is included in there that's just like, oh, this is a cool idea. This is something that you can't really put into regular like fiction novels. This is one of those like nice little things about fantasy. Moto's falling asleep here. Isn't he so cute? But yeah, this is making me really happy because I just love everyone's love for each other. It's so nice. So nice. I've officially ran out of my importance tabs, so I'm going to use these ones to like match the hippogriff on the front, hopefully. It's a cozy, sleepy household today. It's the vibes. So it's April 14th and I haven't finished the book yet, even though I planned on finishing it before. But yesterday I went to a Renaissance fair, and the day before that was the day I was here reading, I think. I think at the end of the day I decided to go over to my friend's house and watch Love Island with her. So now I have my big cup of coffee. I have this much left to go, so I'm probably about like 55 to 60% maybe. But I think I can finish it today for sure. This time. Alright, I'll keep y'all updated. I'm tired and my neck hurts so bad, but we'll see. Okay, doing this spoiler free, I feel like is going to be a little difficult because Moto, I literally moved over here because I wanted you to be in the shot because I thought you were cute. What are you doing? Moto, come back. Come back. You're fine. You're fine. You're dramatic. This freaking guy. So Where do I even begin? I think that this book is more... So the first two books... How do I even describe this? The first two books, you start out happy and then you go a little bit slow, maybe a little drops into what's going to happen in the end, and then boom, the end is like hitting you left and right. And in this one, I feel like it already starts out eerie, with Harry seeing things that maybe is not exactly normal. There are more characters that come into this one. Obviously, it's called The Prisoner of Azkaban, so he has something to do with this book. But I do enjoy the characters that are introduced, and you really find yourself enjoying and hating characters that come into this book specifically. And I think that that's really nice that J.K. Rowling can evoke those sort of emotions out of me. There were definitely parts where I was getting teary-eyed, was to the point of crying, but wasn't sobbing or anything. But this definitely gets emotional, and she has so many different aspects, like so many different puzzle pieces. I feel like she puts together very, very well in this book, and I feel like it was pretty impressive because you go and you read through the book and you're thinking, oh well, you know, what is this going to have to do with the story? Why do they keep making these certain comments? And then you eventually find out the missing puzzle pieces, and all at the end it just comes together, and then you know, you're freaking ready for the next year to see what is in store for Harry in his freaking 4th year of Hogwarts. And you see how freaking dangerous Hogwarts is, because like they be driving me crazy. I don't know if y'all have seen those videos with the guy with the hard hat who comes around like pretending to be an inspector for Hogwarts and talks about how dangerous it is, but it's really funny. Should look that up if you haven't seen it. But all in all, really enjoyed it. As I was reading it, I felt like it might be a 4.75, and I feel like it's just because I didn't have that much time to read personally, so I read this a bit slower, I feel like. But at the end of the day, with the emotional ending, it had to be a 5-star. It had to be. I loved it. Loved the conclusion. Again, loved how everything came together. Loved and hated characters. She's introducing more magic to you as well, like more of the magics that are within her world. You get to go basically to school with Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and I really appreciate that, and I like looking at that sort of aspect of things where it's not just like a quest that they have to go on, and it's not quests, but it's not just like one thing that she's focusing on. She's focusing on all these things, and then just kind of focusing on all 3 of their lives. And yeah, I would say, you know, freaking 5-star book. Can't wait to start The Goblet of Fire. I've heard a lot of people's favorite is The Goblet of Fire. I do remember that movie because of the tournament and the meme of, Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? But in the book he says it calmly. Anyway, yeah, but other than that, I mean, I really, spoiler-free wise, very hard to talk about this one because obviously there's a lot more that happens in this book. So I'd say that this book, if I'm ranking books so far, I would say book 1, book 3, book 2. As for enjoyment, book 1, I love a good start to a series. I love a good book 1. But book 3 just has so much interesting stuff in it. I was tabbing it up as I like to show y'all. Also, I wanted to show y'all all them together. Look at that. That just makes my heart so happy because they're all color-coded to their different covers. I don't know. That just does something for me. All right, but y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. If you are reading Harry Potter, let me know. If you're like, heck no, I'm not gonna read Harry Potter, let me know. That's cool. We don't all have to read Harry Potter, but I hope you've been enjoying the videos anyway, just kind of seeing stuff about the book and kind of my experience with the book. Yeah, I hope y'all have a blessed day. Bye.